Hi everyone and welcome back to the Bolton Fan TV podcast. I'm back with Tyler again. We're doing all right at this. We're managing an episode a week. It's going well. There's not a lot to talk about in this one. So me and Tyler were literally just discussing that the only major thing that's happened is that actually I have just thought of a topic. Never mind. Ignore what I just said, but it's fine. First of all, we'll talk about, obviously, Marcus Maddison's debut, / not really, but, first of all, what do you make of the tackle? I feel like I already know, but...
Yeah, should not be a red because, for my opinion, the Morecambe player goes down first, and then Maddison's got, say, a bit of stamina going in for the ball and that. I get that. So it's like 50-50. But the Morecambe player doesn't have to cry like a little girl, get all his teammates to run over to the ref like, oh, it's a red, it's a red. And ref's like, shut up, yeah, red. Not even a red. If you put that to VAR,
let alone a red.
If you put that to VAR, that is not a red.
Well, I mean, you never know. But I mean, yeah, I completely agree. Twitter went mental.
Facebook went mental.
Yeah. There is images. Maddison gets the ball first, which is the crucial part. But also, his studs are down. It's not as if he's gone in and followed through. Maddison isn't the one that commits the foul.
He's not gone down a running drop kick to his shin, has he?
Exactly. As Tyler said, the Morecambe player has already gone to ground the minute he sees Maddison get the ball, and then he's just made a meal out of it. Basically, all the Morecambe player has done is dive, realistically. Or at very least, he's just insinuated that Maddison had either stamped on him or whatever. But it's clear as day, which is obviously why the FA have decided to not make him serve the ban. So it has been overturned. So Saturday, he makes his actual debut, I would assume, because I think, that past game can just be a write-off, realistically. But yeah, that's only going to benefit us for sure. As Everett said, he brought on Maddison so we could push on and win that game, which we probably should have done. But obviously the red card did change everything. On a side note, it's not really a positive, but I did get the score prediction right, which never happens. Yeah. So, you know what? Small victory for me. But anyway, yeah.
Big for me.
The topic that I actually almost forgot about, which is bad on my part, but anyways, the EFL and pretty much every single league in England has now sent an open letter to Facebook, Twitter, whatever, basically social media in general, asking for the owners of them sites to do more to stop abuse towards football players, managers, referees.
Oh, yeah. I get what you mean.
Yeah, because, Jesus Christ. It's ridiculous.
So I know one player that's got it all. Been having it all.
Yeah. There's been countless. It's actually really, it's never really come to light before, properly. Yeah. There might have been the odd player before that has spoken out about it, but now we're really seeing a lot of people come out and, Ian Wright is the most recent one I can think of, which, by the way, it's the stupidest reason, can I just say? I think it was a kid that lost on FIFA and lost because Ian Wright's icon card scored against him. This generation doesn't make sense.
I can think of the most recent one, though. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Wilfred Zaha came out about it on someone's podcast and started talking about it.
Yeah, so obviously this has caused, an uproar, as it should. Obviously, it just shouldn't happen. But yeah, it looks like, hopefully, we're all going to, get behind this movement. Obviously, it all coincides with the BLM movement, which obviously there is no room for racism anywhere, let alone just football. Yeah, I mean, the question is, how are we going to kind of clamp down on it? And that is the big question on everybody's lips. We don't know at this point, because at the end of the day, there's no way of physically controlling every single person, when it comes to stuff like this. So I don't know, but I mean, obviously, it's a very good step to hopefully get social media platforms to stop this happening, or at least, punish the ones that are doing it. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot over the past few months, and it's too much. Even one incident is too much. So I don't know. I know this is a big question, so I don't know if you're going to be able to answer this, but what do you think should happen to, people that have done this, or, what do you think needs to happen in order to clamp down on it?
In order to clamp down, I think they should take a good one look at themselves and think, why am I doing this? I'm ruining other people's lives. I'm ruining the football careers. I'm ruining the team's lives. All this, you don't even know what's going on behind the scenes. So why would you decide, oh yeah, I'm just going to jump on Twitter, Facebook, all this. I'm going to slew this guy now. It's like, if you're lost, you're lost. Don't attack the player. It might not have been just the players. It could have been team morale, all that. Just calm down before you, or should I say, which I've heard before, think before you either type or say anything. Think before you do anything. Because words hurt more than actions, should I say.
Yeah. I mean, another incident as well that happened, which obviously, by the way, as well, it's completely different, giving players and maybe referees criticism. That's completely different. We're not attacking them. Like when we were discussing the referee for Tranmere. Some of the things we probably said may have come across that we were attacking them, but at the end of the day, that was on the referee. That wasn't, the referee just shouldn't have done those things in that game. But yeah, there's a big difference between, being annoyed at someone, giving them criticism, and then just flat out abusing them. And also another situation that happened was Mike Dean won't be officiating any matches this weekend because he's asked not to, because he's received death threats to his family.
Jesus.
It's, again, it goes back to the whole thing of, the EFL. I think the Premier League. I'm pretty sure every league in England has gotten behind this. The open letter to like Facebook, Twitter. I think they're the two ones that are named, but realistically, it's all social media platforms. It just shouldn't happen. Obviously, it does happen, which is wrong. But I mean, realistically, there's not a lot we can do to completely get rid of it, because I think it is always going to exist in some form. But, we can at least show that the majority of us are against it. And, tougher, tougher consequences for people that do commit stuff like this. Because at the end of the day, it is a crime, so it needs to be met with the toughest consequences. And yeah, I mean, for Mike Dean, Mike Dean's been around for a long time and has been reffing games.
Yeah.
And trust me, he's received a lot of stick during his refereeing career. I mean, no doubt, a lot of Premier League fans probably don't like Mike Dean, but he's still a human being. That doesn't mean that, you go and attack them, because at the end of the day, they are just doing their job. Okay, we're only human. We all make mistakes. It's that simple. And again, it's different when, you're giving criticism, because obviously me and Tyler have both heavily criticised referees before. We've criticised players before. But that's completely different to flat out attacking them. If anything,
Yeah, 'cause-
all me and Tyler do on this podcast is we sit down, we talk about what's happened in the week to do with Bolton, or football in general, and we just give our opinions on things. And obviously, when we're doing our reviews of the games and stuff, if there's an error in that, we're going to let the referee know that there was a mistake in that. Like we did, I mean, straight away after the game when Maddison got sent off, I mean, I was all over Twitter and I was fuming at that referee. I'll be honest, I may have called him all sorts of names, but that's not me attacking them. That was just me being annoyed in the moment. Also, that's a very different thing as well. You know, like, I've seen a few people mention it on like Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and it's like, I don't know. I think there was somebody that said, I don't think it got big, but people that were saying that, you know, people on podcasts or like people, just fans in general that shout like names at referees and stuff. That's all in the moment. Realistically, there isn't any malicious intent behind those words. It's just emotion during a game.
Yeah, because I've been one of them. Like, it's
we've
not
all done
fun,
it.
like,
Realistically,
it's just emotion.
Yeah, we've all done it.
Or it's just like heat of the moment. Just heat
Yeah,
of the moment.
exactly. And there's no real meaning to those words. You know, it's like, I can't remember what video I watched, but there was somebody that was doing, it might have been on Sky or something, but I think it was an old referee that said that basically, you know, referees, they turn up, they ref the game, you know, whatever happens, happens. They'll probably get grief in the game, but maybe a bit on the way to the car, but then as soon as you go home, that's it, it's done. Which obviously nowadays with social media, it never ends. It never leaves, realistically. But I mean, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it is two completely different things. Getting caught up with emotion in the heat of the moment is completely different to actually sending like death threats to a referee, or, you know, racial abuse to players. Because I think Martial, a lot of United players got it, I'm pretty sure. Martial did, I know that. There's been a lot, and there's just no room for it at all. So, yeah, I mean, have you got anything to add to that, or?
Yeah, going back to the referee, you know, like the Mike Dean thing where you were saying go back to car. There was one thing that I would say I might witnessed it. Like I went before I witnessed it. It was the Bolton v Plymouth game when we lost 1-0 in the FA Cup. I think it was when we like last year or something. Or like 2 years. Yeah, one of them years. And then the ref did a few things wrong, and then some Bolton fans kind of did some things to the referee's car before the referee got out the stadium. And let's just say the car was not even going anymore. There was words put on it. There was windows smashed. There was tyres gone.
Yeah, that as well is a completely different matter. But I mean, that still shouldn't happen. At the end of the day, the referee is there to make sure that the game is as fair as possible. And okay, that doesn't happen all the time. As we mentioned earlier, the Tranmere game, that didn't go in our favour. And yeah, Bolton fans probably don't like that referee anymore, if, you know, but doesn't mean that, like, you know, I mean, okay, there is going to be a very small percentage that will probably be like, oh yeah, if he ever comes to Bolton again, this will happen and this and that. A lot of it's just words. Probably never going to happen. But I mean, realistically, he's probably never going to step foot in Bolton anyway. And, you know, it's just sometimes like, okay, this is may come across to some people as, you know, just don't get offended by this. But sometimes in certain situations, you know, for example, the ref that ref Bolton versus Tranmere the other week kind of did bring it on himself. I'm not justifying it, you know, like the abuse he's getting. Well, to be fair, the online criticism that he's getting and, you know, Bolton fans being annoyed at him, that's completely justified, but not, you know, for example, if somebody then started sending him, death threats and stuff like that, that's wrong. That's where I draw the line. Like, okay, you can be annoyed at somebody and let them know that, but you don't threaten them with physical violence, especially when it's a 90-minute game. And yeah, okay, probably, football's one of the most emotional sports in the world, realistically, if not the most emotional sport in the world. And that's just it. A lot of it is just pure emotion. Like we said earlier about, shouting things at the ref during a game. It's emotion, getting annoyed at the players. There's been many a time where I've been at a Bolton game and there's been people around me shouting abuse at the players. And when I say abuse, I don't mean as in like, on the scale of what's happening now, with all the racism and stuff, but just like even saying that, using a very strong word to basically say that they're playing bad. Obviously, I'm not going to say it because we are a PG podcast, but I mean, again, that is just emotion, plain and simple. So, that's not what this whole EFL message to Facebook and that is. It's about, the racial abuse, the death threats. That's what this is about, and making social media hopefully somewhat of a better place. But I feel like as well, it's not just for like footballers and referees. It should just be for everyone in general. Obviously, the football leagues have come out, so they, in a sense, they've got to keep it related to football. But just in general, we need to start clamping down and making social media as much of a nice place as possible. Because obviously, social media is a very 50-50 thing. It's very good. For example, stuff like this, without social media, you wouldn't get podcasts. You wouldn't get music, really. The only real way you'd end up with music is if you went on Spotify and physically searched the person. Without social media, businesses use social media. Like, there's an endless list of good things that social media has done for society in general, but at the same time, there's also an endless list of bad things. So, I mean, obviously, again, it goes back to, the abuse and stuff like that, because there's going to be people that, it may be one of you that's listening to this podcast, you may have been a victim of, having abuse online, cyberbullying's a big thing.
We're going to talk about.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, obviously, social media, I feel like, to me anyway, and I don't just assume that I'm right, but to me, there is always that block button, but that doesn't stop it. I feel like the word block is literally just, I mean, block pretty much is, they're still there, they're still doing it, just not to you by that point. If you hit that block
they could just create another account and just find you
they'll
again.
either do that or they'll leave you alone because obviously they've got no choice, but they'll go and do it to somebody else. It's not stopping it, it's just stopping it for you. Which obviously, if there was a way to get everybody in the world to block one person, then it would stop, but it's just not possible. Now, it leads into the whole, cyberbullying and stuff. I've dealt with it, putting myself out on the internet. Not like that. That sounds dodgy, but, like YouTube, Twitch. I haven't dealt with it on this, which I'm grateful for. Please don't change. But, I mean, it just happens. It's something that you kind of just have to deal with right now. I've had it. You've got to kind of develop a thick skin to it, and just not let it hit you. But it's like now, I used to turn comments off on my YouTube videos all the time. A lot of my old videos on YouTube, no comments on it, simply because of that. And that's just what I had to do in order for me to finally be like, you know what? screw them all. Because if, I love doing YouTube and stuff. It might not show because of how little I upload on there now, but, I love creating content in general. Hence why, this isn't a flex. This isn't me coming at you big-headed, but, I've done YouTube. I stream on Twitch. I'm doing this podcast. And, I've even got music that I'm working on and have released. And I just love creating content, no matter what format it's in. I just love doing it. And if a few people don't like that, obviously they don't have to watch that, But it's just not that simple. People will still end up clicking on the video just to make somebody else's day a little bit worse. But the way I look at it is, realistically, they're probably having a worse day than you are. Hence why they're going onto your social media platforms or YouTube channels, whatever, and leaving a bad comment. And again, it's completely different to people leaving criticism. I've openly asked for people to give me criticism on my YouTube videos and stuff, which that's fine. I can, constructive criticism. No one should ever get disheartened by that. If anything, it should just motivate you to make your content better. But yeah, the way I look at it, just, they're 99% of the time having a worse day than you are. So, you're having a better day than they are. And if they feel they need to go on to somebody else's social media and send negativity their way, that's on them. That's their problem, realistically. They're the ones that need to fix it. But yeah, you were saying that you've obviously been, you've had quite a few run-ins, whether it be, there's been the whole video on the YouTube channel about your experience with bullying and stuff. That obviously carries into cyberbullying and stuff. So do you want to talk about that, or?
Going on to the comments things, I've had a few things, because like you said, I used to do a few gaming videos on my YouTube channel, and then after I've done a few, uploaded them, a few hours later, I'd get DMs off, say some random person off Instagram or something, saying why you even trying to do a series when you can't even play a game properly. I just ignored it. I'm just going to ignore you because I'm doing something I love, which is gaming. Because I do stream, and I try and do as much YouTube as possible. And going back to the bullying thing, there is a few things that's been going on, but I don't want to sit here and talk about it on this, because it's going to be a long time to talk about it. Going for the TikTok, I've had a few of them. There were an app called Musical.ly, I've had a few of them. Pictures I've posted, got a few of them. And then I did a video with some of my mates. I still got grief off that. And all I did to get rid of it was just take a break and let everything just sink in before redoing it. I think that's what people should do. Just try and calm down. Don't let it get too worked up, because I've got worked up before. And then just literally try and redo it, and don't care about what people say. Haters got hate. Haters got to do nothing.
As Taylor Swift said, shake it off. Simple. Now, obviously, it's very easy to just sit here and be like, just do this. It's different for everybody. To relate it back to football, like Mike Dean's doing, he's taking a break this weekend. He may need longer, he may need shorter. You never know. But yeah, I mean, going back to the YouTube stuff as well, it did actually make me kind of fall out of love with YouTube a little bit. Like it did get to a point where I didn't even want to be on the platform, not necessarily just me making videos, but just even being on YouTube. It just reminded me constantly, that these comments were on my videos, or I was receiving DMs because of my channel. Now, don't get me wrong, my YouTube channel, when I started it, cringe. But I can now look back at that and be like, you know what, it is what it is. Just got to move on. I mean, I'm more comfortable now for sure, but yeah. And at the end of the day, I'm doing what I enjoy, so screw everybody else. It's quite easy to say that, but like I said, it's different for everyone. You know, and also as well, there is a situation that I saw unfold. I'm not going to mention names or anything, just because I'm not about exposing them like that, you know, because I'm sure they've changed by now. But you never know. So basically, back in secondary school, there was this person. I'm not even going to give them a gender, but yeah, they started a YouTube channel. They were uploading videos that were popular at the time and stuff like that. And you know what? They weren't doing too bad. You know, like I watched a few. I enjoyed the content, but there was a group of people. Again, I'm not going to give that group a gender, but that, you know, almost belittled this person, and in the end, they ended up deleting the YouTube channel and getting rid of all their videos, which it annoyed me realistically, because it's like, you know, they're enjoying doing that stuff, and then for a group of people to turn around and tell them that they shouldn't be doing it because they're bad at it, they've got no room to say that. Like, okay, people are going to think it and people are going to judge you, but like I've just said, screw them. You do what you enjoy. And that actually made me make my own video. I didn't mention it was a similar thing, but yeah, it made me make a video of, like, I can't remember what it was, but it was like, I don't remember what I titled it, but it was basically me talking about that situation. But yeah, and basically saying what I've said now, you know, just try not to let it affect you. Obviously, it will affect you to begin with because it's a new thing, but, you know, whether it be take a break to kind of let it sink in and then, you know, motivate yourself, because it's a cycle, realistically. You know, you do the video, you feel like you're on top of the world, realistically. When you do YouTube, regardless of how many subs you get, regardless of how many views you get, you feel a sense of pride when you put something out on the internet, or else you wouldn't upload it. And that pride quickly turns into kind of, you know, demotivation, not wanting to do this anymore because of these people. Which then, you know, obviously can then spiral into that these people deleting their channels or whatever, and then not doing what they enjoy simply because of a couple of people disagreeing with what they're doing. Which, like I said, whether it be take a break or whatever, yeah, it's all part of the cycle. So after that, you know, obviously then if you're not doing the YouTube and stuff, you've got more time to kind of, especially now during lockdown, you've got time to sit there and, you know, this is how it happened for me anyway. Obviously we weren't in lockdown then, but I kind of sat there because I did stop for a while. And then I kind of just one day woke up and I was like, no, you know what? Sack this. I want to do YouTube videos. I'm going to do YouTube videos. It's that simple. If people don't like it, they can do one. That's just it. But yeah, it's different for everyone, as I've said. But yeah, I mean, if you're one of these people that sat here now and, you know, you've had comments or whatever and you're feeling demotivated, it will pass, depending on what type of person you are, realistically. You know, if you're a type of person that maybe can't, you know, build that thick skin, then probably shouldn't be on social media in general. I know it might come across as harsh, but realistically, if you can't handle a couple of people calling you like names and stuff, then you probably shouldn't be on social media. But yeah, I know that was a kind of long-winded thing, but I feel like it just needed to be said.
Yeah.
let's now take it back to football. Let's talk about Maddison's red card a bit more because we've not really discussed that. But in fact, let's just go over the game in general as well. What are your thoughts on Tuesday's game?
Overall, great performance. We should have won that at least, say, 3-0 without Morecambe scoring. Because I think it was just like a silly mistake at near the end from a corner, just to allow it to go in.
Yeah.
We were just peppering them. Arthur, Doyle, Delfonso. Great performance from them three.
Even Maddison. Also, I know he was only on for a short amount of time, but from the highlights, he looked pretty damn good. So, From
his one shot, causing danger.
Yeah, I mean, he had one shot and then got sent off, but it is what it is.
Declan John, when he came on as well.
Yeah. I agree with Tyler there. Overall, great performance. Should have won. We did drop 2 points. At the end of the day, it's down to the red card, the fact that we lost that game. As Everett said, he brought on Maddison to win the game because they are players that can do that. Obviously that didn't happen because of the red card. But speaking on the red card itself, I said straight away after I'd seen the clip of the tackle, I said straight away it's a 50-50 tackle, which obviously you don't see. Obviously, if you've seen the close-up, then you know that, Maddison's the one that's been fouled. But, first look, 50-50. Looking at the referee's position, I can understand, especially with the Morecambe player's reaction, I can understand why the ref has reached for red. But if it was just based off that, it'd be like, oh, okay, then move on. But as we mentioned earlier, it's the fact that all the Morecambe players immediately ran to the referee and were in his ear.
Seven Morecambe players ran over.
Seven. That's just... I mean, we saw it against Tranmere as well. Obviously, Tranmere was a lot more of a big deal. But, it's just... I think Everett said the other day that, it's going to keep happening unless we, shine a light to it, which I completely agree. And it also brought up the question as well, are referees getting lazy, especially in lower leagues? Yeah. Go on. Have a vent.
I didn't mean to put in there. Yeah, they are getting lazy. Halfway, like I said, I know it's 90-minute game. You can start to lose concentration. But at least try a bit more and just be like...
It's not even that, though. For me, I don't know. It's not just necessarily... Oh, Tyler froze then for a second. He's back. But, I don't know. For me, with referees, like we said in the Tranmere podcast, I've been saying it since we were last in the Championship because... the standard of refereeing has gone down considerably. A lot more referees are having favourite teams, which is fine, but they just shouldn't referee their own team's games because that is just automatically going to cause bias. So I don't really know what can be done about it, but, whether it be, I don't know, whether it be as simple as, they fill out a form or something, I don't know, do you support a team in this country? If so, which? And then they don't referee those games. But I don't know. I'm obviously not in the business. So I know obviously as well, at certain situations, there may be a shortage of referees for whatever reason. But so maybe the odd game of that happening, depending on the situation, I can understand. But if they're just openly being put on a game that, that they support, that's just automatically going to screw one of the teams over. So, I don't even think it's a case of just, the referees losing concentration. I think it's just people, I don't know. I think I said the other day that, a lot of the time, referees, they're not confident enough to upset players. A lot of you may disagree, but especially when you've got 7 players charging at you, screaming at you, being like, that's a red, get him off. Which, what happened to the good old days of referees not giving a damn and being like, no, I've made this decision, do one, or you're going to be booked. Because realistically, if all 7 of them all 7 of them Morecambe players yelling at the referee, they all probably should have got a yellow card because they didn't even shut up. Like the referee even said, go away, and then he sent off blooming Maddison, which was wrong. He should have.
It's harassment to the ref. End of the day, it's harassment to the ref because they're all just rushing over like, right, that's red.
Yeah.
Getting in the ref's ear, it's classed as harassment to the ref.
Which again, just shouldn't be a thing. Referees need to take control back. How they do that, I do not know. I think it may be confidence. I don't know, especially in today's society, as we mentioned earlier. Oh, pardon me. The whole Mike Dean situation. Maybe it's stuff like that has caused referees to have less confidence, which I completely understand. But at the same time, you're doing a job. It's your job to be down the middle, 50-50, not showing any bias to one team. You have to be even in the game. It's that simple, Obviously, again, I completely understand that in today's society, I can understand why referees might not have enough confidence. But again, you're there to do a job. It's that simple. If you then can't fulfill that job, regardless of reason, you shouldn't be a referee. It goes for any job, really. If you've not got the confidence to do it, and you can't find that confidence, probably shouldn't do it. But I mean, yeah, I don't know if it will ever change. It might just be the standard of referees we've got to deal with now. But it is what it is. I know it's only it's a small percentage of referees that are doing this as well. I'm not just saying every referee, they're not confident, because there are referees that will be down the middle and they will be like, right, I've made this decision, you don't like it, keep Maddison off of me, you're getting a yellow. I don't know, it's just a very small percentage of referees that haven't got the confidence. But yeah, I don't know how they go about getting that confidence back. But yeah. So just to sum up our views on the game, we should have won it. Quite comfortably. Hence why Maddison came on. We played well. We're dominating possession again, which we have done for I'd say at least 98% of games this season. And yeah, overall good performance. We should have won. But at least we got a point. It could have been worse. We could have lost. But would rather, obviously, now we're into that half of the season where we need to start picking up points.
Yeah.
We can't afford to drop more points. We have to win in order to shoot up that table and, get playoffs at least, which, let's be honest, I think playoffs is the most we're going to get out of this season.
Yeah, it's the target.
Yeah, because obviously there's no way, I don't think, that we get into the top 1 or 2. There's just no way, realistically. I mean, you never know. The top 2 teams may drop off in form and we might be able to pounce. You don't know. Because,
anything can happen.
Yeah, especially 2020, COVID and, the Premier League. Look at how that started out. And Man United are sat in second.
Remember when Leicester were dropped bottom and then they won the league that same season?
By the way, we're not also saying that this is going to happen. We're just saying it would be nice.
It won't. Yeah.
It won't happen. It's Bolton. But, we always have to do it the hard way. We've said this multiple times. And this season, the hard way is going through playoffs. So, me and Tyler have said it since the start of the season. Well, since before the start of the season, playoffs is a requirement. It's not up for debate. We have to at least have a shot at getting promoted. Because at the end of the day, we are Bolton. We don't deserve to be in League 2. I think the lowest we deserve to be is League One. I'll be honest.
Yeah, League One.
Because, Championship, okay, we had a pretty bad season, stayed up, and then the next season, it was even worse. So we got knocked down. But, League One, I've said this, with the players we had in that squad, you players like Lafondra, like Zach Clough. I know a lot of people are going to be annoyed that I just mentioned his name, but deal with it. Players like that, when we had David Wheater, when we had Beavers, when Anik was on form.
When we
No, he's
Anthony
frozen
Robinson.
Again. Oh, there we go. What?
When we even had Anthony Robinson and like Mark Whittle, our defence was solid.
Yeah. But I've said for a while that, that football we played in that League One season was one of the best, not obviously last season, but, that was, I think, from the amount of time I've been alive, that was the best football I've seen Bolton Wanderers play in a very long time. And I tell you what, Ian Everett, even though we're not in a very good position right now, Ian Everett's style of football is up there for me. The fact that we are dominating games, the only thing that we can improve on is winning them, which we can still definitely do. We can still shoot up the table for sure.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, and I think it will happen. So I'll be honest, I was going to say let's move on to the next game. I don't know who our next game is. I'm not going to lie. Stevenage, that's the one. Stevenage, obviously, we beat them last time out. Nice 3 points. How do you see the game going?
Before I even knew about if the red card got us in it, I was going to go for a loss, but, I know people are like, oh, he's not being positive. No, I'll stay positive. I'm going to go a nice 2-0 win with Arthur getting on the score sheet and obviously Maddison getting on the score sheet.
What did I say the other day? I think I said it to you. I don't remember what I said.
2-1. 2-1, I think you said.
Did I say win?
Yeah.
I'll stick with it.
You did.
I'll say a 2-1 win. I think Doyle will get one, and I think Maddison will get a debut one, especially now, considering he's going to want to make an impression. Because to a lot of Bolton fans, I don't know, I've seen a few people criticising him already, and he's not even spent 20 minutes on the pitch yet. So, I don't know. I still think Maddison's going to be a key part of our season. I've actually just remembered as well. Again, I apologise. This is a very all over the place episode again, but I will start making notes at some point. George Thomason.
Or signed a new contract.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on this because, he's a young player. He has potential. I just don't know yet. I feel like...
I don't think it's his time.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is no disrespect to him as well. He is a very good player. He just... I don't know. He needs something to take him to the next level. Whether this extension will take him to the next level is a question. But I don't know. I'm very 50-50 on it. I'm not too sure. It's amazing if it works out, but I feel like this season we've had a lot more transfers that haven't worked out than we have transfers that have. Especially loan deals. I feel like loan deals is where it's going wrong. I don't know, obviously Krellin, Tom White are the two that spring to mind. Taft as well, but I mean, that's not really on Taft, in my opinion. And then the whole Kioso situation as well. Nightmare, realistically. Obviously, with permanent transfers, that's not what I'm talking about. Obviously, if you're bringing in permanent transfers like that, then obviously there's a lot more good transfers than bad transfers. Because obviously, Doyle, Delfonso, you know the drill. Basically, everyone we brought in at the start of the season, plus the loan players like Maddison and stuff. I'm still intrigued as well on to what Maddison's deal actually is, because Obviously, Everett did say on deadline day that there was one that was going to be a loan, and then there were sources reporting that there was a loan to buy option on ones that was never confirmed or denied, really. So I don't really know with that. I do hope Maddison, I hope there is a clause in his contract that is, we have an option to buy him because, I mean, like I said, he's not even played 20 minutes for us yet. And he already looks deadly, He had one shot in the game just gone, and he almost scored it, realistically. Afolayan as well, yeah. I don't think we'll make that permanent, though. I think he will just be a loan. But I don't know. Again, anything can happen. That is the motto of football this season. Literally anything can happen. But yeah, back to the Stevenage game. I do think it's going to be a 2-1. I think we'll dominate again, as we have.
Yeah.
But I do still think we'll struggle a bit. Just because, again, it goes back to the thing I've been saying for the past 3 weeks. We're still not necessarily going out there, and I'll admit, last game we were a lot better. That first 5 minutes, we were a lot better. But
at least we're not conceding.
Yeah, I still think that some of the players are still going out there hoping to get something out of the game rather than wanting to get something out of the game and, almost needing to get something out of the game. But I don't know. I mean, I could be completely wrong, It's nice to see Delfonso. He's looking a bit more like himself as well, which I like to see. Obviously got the assist for Doyle. Doyle as well, clinical. Absolutely. I mean, he's just an amazing specimen, isn't he? Realistically, he just is. I think we said it as well that Doyle would be so much closer to 20 goals by now if he'd have been being supplied. A lot of people were calling Doyle overrated and stuff, especially after the first half of the season. Not Bolton fans, because obviously Bolton fans know how key he's going to be, but just people on the outside looking in kind of thing were calling him overrated and stuff like this, just because, to go from scoring 25 goals last season, being top scorer, to now he's only just got over double digits. I can understand how it looks, but if you're watching Doyle the way he's playing, and if you actually watch the games, you'd understand that the first half of the season, he wasn't being supplied. Or else he would have got more goals. And okay, there's a few that he probably should have scored and hasn't, but every player has that. As long as he starts banging them in for fun, it's fine. But yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything I wanted to. Have you got anything that you want to talk about?
No. But nothing else.
Like we said, it's been a very boring week for football, especially in League Two. Yeah, I don't know. Also, as well, would you like us to start talking more about general football rather than? I know, obviously, we have spoken about it. We did a episode with Lee before, Man United fan, who when we were talking about Project Big Picture and stuff like that, as well as VAR and stuff. Let us know if you do want us to do more Premier League stuff. I know we're called Bolton Fan TV, but we will still find a way to link it back to Bolton. We always do. Yeah, I definitely enjoy doing that. Yeah, I think we've covered everything in this episode. I don't know how long we've been going for. But
neither.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening and watching. Remember, if you are on YouTube, hit that like button. Let us know your score predictions in the comments. And also, let us know. Let us know your views on the stuff we've discussed today. And yeah, obviously, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcast, I'm still not sure what platforms we're on. I'll be completely honest. I just know we're on Spotify. But yeah, then if there is a rating system, then do go ahead and give us a 5-star. Obviously, if you enjoy it, and if not, let us know why and let us know how we can improve. By the way, guests, it is coming.
Yeah,
it is coming.
Just say
We just got to work it out.
If you are on YouTube and there is comments, comment down below what guest would you like to see us have on our podcast?
Let's try and avoid obvious ones, though. Like
Yeah,
Lafondra, because me and Tyler actually discussed this after last week's podcast. We discussed the possibility of like maybe a Lafondra coming on. I've said I would not be able to do that interview.
Do not say what you said to me last week.
But I just wouldn't be able to bring myself to do it. I'll be
all right. It's just him.
But yeah, anybody else, I'd be more than happy to sit down with them and chat. Obviously, it depends on their schedule and stuff like that.
Any other people from different podcasts?
Also, David Wheater as well. Maybe not right now. I'd love to have him on.
Yeah.
But just maybe not right now. Yeah, as Tyler said as well, anyone from any other podcast, do you want us to get Alex back? Let us know. I always like doing podcasts with Alex. He's I don't know. He's just, he knows his stuff, you know, whereas me, don't have a clue. Why do you think I do a podcast with
Even
Tyler?
though I've only done one with him, he knows.
Nah, but yeah, I mean, that is literally just our podcast, isn't it? I rely on you for most of this. I'm just here to record it. That's pretty much it. Because yeah, Tyler is just this encyclopedia of random football knowledge. So that's why he's here. But yeah, like I said, you know, comment, let us know. 5-star ratings as well. Leave us a review. I don't know how it works on Spotify. Have they got a rating system? Oh well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know they definitely got a review.
Yeah. If not, I don't know if you can actually do it through Anchor itself. I'm not too sure. But yeah. By the way, that is actually a thing as well. Yeah, we are on the actual Anchor site, I believe. So I've never really mentioned that because I didn't know it was a thing, I'll be honest. But yeah. Thank you again for listening, watching, and yeah, we also as well, we were supposed to do this a lot earlier. I remember.
Early through the week.
We were supposed to do this podcast on Wednesday. Yeah. It just didn't happen, but it's fine. Yeah. This is now the end of the podcast. I apologize for rambling at the end there. But yeah, thank you. And we will see you next Friday. Not Wednesday, Friday.
Okay, we could do Wanderers Wednesday because there is a game.
I mean, we could do, yeah. Yeah. Again, thank you. And see you on Wednesday/Friday now.
Goodbye.
And goodbye.